Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Pojman with Texas Alliance for Life, and we're here in the state capitol in Austin. There's a tremendous amount going on as the legislature is meeting. They have been meeting since January, and they're going to be meeting for about another 6 weeks at the end of May. There's a lot of progress I want to report to you. One of the issues that the legislature has to do is pass an enormous budget. And in that budget, there's a House version and a Senate version. Last week, the House passed a budget that vastly increased funding for the Alternatives to Abortion program from $200 million for the 2-year budget last time, increasing that up to $200 million for the 2-year budget this time. At the same time, the Senate just earlier in this week passed a budget which includes an increase for the Alternatives to Abortion Fund from $100 million to $140 million. So $200 million, $140 million, it's a huge, vast increase over what the legislature passed last time, 2 years ago, and it's a big win for mothers and for unborn babies. We'll see how the House and Senate reconcile those two numbers, but regardless, we're very, very pleased. Another thing we're working on is to keep the protections in law that the legislature passed 2 years ago. You recall that the legislature passed a just remarkable bill called the Human Life Protection Act, which completely protects unborn babies from the tragedy of abortion throughout pregnancy. That law went into effect shortly after Roe versus Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court and that law went into effect last August. There are 10 bills that have been introduced that would weaken that terrific law. It would add exceptions and remove protections for babies who are conceived by sexual assault, by rape or incest. We don't support that. We believe that babies who are conceived in rape or incest are babies, and it is incumbent on the state of Texas and the pro-life movement to protect those babies and their mothers so that those babies aren't penalized, their lives aren't taken for the crimes of the father. There's other bills that would introduce exceptions so that a baby who has a fatal illness could be aborted. And we don't favor that also. Babies with fatal illnesses should be protected before they're born, the same as babies after they're born. So there are, as I said, 10 bills that we're fighting. We've had fantastic people on our lobby team. We're even joined by the national speaker, Ryan Bomberger, who wasn't conceived in rape, and as he says, he was adopted in love, lobbying office by office on those issues. So we also have others of our lobby team are in Texas Alliance for Life down here, all working together. It's a great effort. We are on track to have a sensational legislative session. A number of good pro-life bills are going to get to the governor's desk, which he will happily sign, I predict. That's what's going on in the legislature now. Thank you so much for your support that makes all this possible.